Hey, great selling Saturday one. How are you? Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery in here each and every morning, coming to talk to you, get you a little bit of pep in your step and get you focused going in the right direction, especially on a Saturday, because we know Saturday is all about the sale. That's all it's about. Nothing else matters on Saturday. So you better be putting those files away. If you're trying to grab a file to make a phone call or work on something that's an existing deal, put it away and get on the phones. If you don't have a customer in front of you, today is about getting one in front of you so that you can get a sale done. Hands down, that's what it's about. But we're going to talk about something that has to do with sales. And some may misinterpret this quote that I pulled up for today, because it comes across a very, very aggressive manner. But the point behind it, I thought, was even more powerful. Okay. So the quote for today says, "A lioness will use all of her strength, even when hunting a rabbit." Okay. A lioness will use all of her strength, even when hunting a what exactly are we talking about when we say this, right? Because one may read that and think, well, I've got to be super aggressive. I've got to be in their face. I've got to just be overpowering. And that's not really what I'm getting at. What I'm trying to get at here is, no matter what it is that you're doing, you must be 110% intentional with that. In other words, don't do things just to go through the motions. Don't do things to check it off the list. And there's so many things when it comes to the sale, whether it's that the customer's in front of you or you're trying to bring a customer in. There's a perspective, there's a mindset, there's a certain way that you need to be operating so that you can be as effective as possible. And so that you have, in other words, you're applying all of your strength towards it. Okay. And what I mean by that is, let's just take, for instance, even posting your ads. Now, is there a way that you can flex while posting your ads? I'm sure there is, right? But that's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is, what is the content of your ad? How are you setting up your ad? Is your ad set up to attract the attention, to do what it's supposed to do, which is attract attention? That's all it is. Don't think that people are reading the ads and getting all the information, deciding that's the home I want to buy. You know that. I know that. And that's why the ads we post are to serve one purpose: to attract attention. For somebody to say, oh, that's a pretty picture. I want to find out about that house. Even though you could put a whole book in the description and people are not going to read it. You could put 3 lines in there and they're not going to read it. But you need to have some sort of information in the description, right? But for the most part, people are looking at a picture and they're saying, I like that house, I want to buy it, or I want to get information on it, right? So then they go about getting the info from you and moving on. So you need to set up that ad in a way that's going to serve its purpose. How you then respond to that ad. Earlier in the week, I posted on LinkedIn a little example of how we're responding to ads, because we're after one thing and one thing only. We're after the phone number. That's it. Don't be trying to sell the thing on the chat. Don't be trying to get the deal done in the chat. You're after the phone number. You're not even trying to set the appointment through chat. You're after the phone number, so that then you can get the people on the phone so that they can feel your excitement. They can feel your energy. They can feel the enthusiasm in your voice and the fact that you can actually provide the solution. However, that goes to the phone call. And is your phone call then getting the point across that you can get them the solution? You can provide them the solution. You are the person that they need to go see, because you've got to remember this. You are not the only one selling homes. You are not the only one that's out there that's advertising. They are bombarded day in and day out with so many ads. Go in there and just search in Facebook and look at how many ads pop up. So if you think that you're something special just because you got them on the phone, no, it's what you do on the phone, how you speak to them, the questions you ask, and the excitement that you create, and the belief in you that you are the person that they need to come and see. And then when they come and see you, and at that point, it's even more important that you use your strengths, which is how are you carrying out the sales process? And what type of sales process are you presenting? Are you presenting a transactional sales process, or are you presenting a sales process that truly is based on the empathy of wanting to help them accomplish the goal they're after, or solve the problem that they need to solve, or reach whatever it is that they're trying to get done in the goal that they're trying to reach with purchasing a home? Or are you just trying to sell? And then after you sell the home, let's say you get the deal done, how are you treating those customers after? Are you staying in constant communication with them? Or are you the type of salesperson who's going to back off and not make any sort of contact for 3 or 4 days? And then you wonder why they're calling you upset or texting you, telling you they just prefer not to buy because they haven't heard anything from you. So this Selling Saturday, that's what we want to talk about, is use all of your strengths in everything that you do, right? But it starts with this one thing right here, okay? And first, you've got to know what you're after. You have to know what you're after. Because when you know what you're after, when you know what the target is, when you know what the goal is of every step of the process, now you can be even more intentional about it. If you know that the goal for the ad is simply to attract attention, now you can be more intentional with your ads and making sure that your first picture is a picture that's going to draw attention. It's going to be a picture that they're going to want to respond to, find out about. If you post just an exterior picture, you post a picture of a home that hasn't even been trimmed out, that looks like crud, to not say even worse. Of course, they're not going to be responding. Now, you may have some of those that are used homes, right? That you're selling for maybe 10, 15 grand. Different story. That's a different story. If that's your market, if that's your thing, then so be it. But if you're a new home sales consultant, you want to be posting pictures that are going to attract that attention. And so you need to be intentional about that. You need to be intentional about how you're responding to that Facebook lead. It should be just two or three questions and you're out. You've got the phone number by then. If you don't know how to do that, reach out to us. We'll teach you how that's done. Okay. You can go on LinkedIn, go to my LinkedIn profile. You see the video there. The proof is in the pudding, as I like to say, right? And I've got it on there. And then from there, it's what you do on the phone call, what you do once they show up, or what you do after you sell the home. You have to know what you're after so that you can operate with confidence, certainty, and your clients can feel that, because they need to feel that from you. When they can feel that from you, you're more likely to earn their business. And then from there, you have to help them out of their own way. You have to help them get out of their own way, because every client, just like you, just like all of us, most of us get in our own way. And what do I mean by we get in our own way? Well, most of us have the tendency to overthink things. When it comes to making a decision, we tend to overthink things, right? We hesitate and well, what if it's this, or what if that? And what if, you've heard it, right? What if I lose my job? What if I can't do this? Or what if so-and-so decides that they no longer want to do this loan with me? They're always putting the what ifs. So you need to help them get out of their own way. And the only way that you're going to help them get out of their own way is by using all of your strength to make sure that in your interview process, and if you don't have an interview process, shame on you, first of all, but in your interview process, you need to be finding out the deeper answers. You need to be digging deep. You can't take that service level answer. You can't take that first answer they give you, because that is usually just the top of mind, something easy, when there's something underlying behind that. And that's where you need to find out, because once you start digging deeper into, the fact that, well, we're, especially when it comes to why they're looking to buy a home, right? If they're telling you, well, I've been living in my parents' house, right, for so long, you need to dig deeper. Don't just take that as, well, they need to get out of it. Why do they need to get out of it? They've been there for X amount of time already. You have to realize that human nature is to take the path of least resistance in everything. Think about what you've done in your life, and you'll see that most of the time you make the decision that is the path of least resistance, the least uncomfortable, the lesser probability of creating problems. You take that route. You don't face confrontation, right? Most of us won't make the decision to ask the question that needs to be asked. Why? Because you're not bold enough to ask it. You need to be bold. You're not going to lose the deal that you don't already have. So you need to help them get out of their own way by asking those questions so they can feel that connection, feel that you truly understand why it is that they're needing to buy a home. And then you keep reminding them of that throughout the whole process. Because after that, what happens is you are going to have to be persistent because they need you to be. They need you to be persistent. In other words, don't just take the first no and move on. Don't just take the first no and we're like, if you're trying to open the door and it doesn't unlock, don't just walk away from it. You've got to keep going. There's a way to unlock the door and get through and get the sale. Sorry, my son couldn't unlock the door right here, so I was just anyway, you've got to be persistent. And if you the only reason you're not going to be persistent because you feel you're not prepared to be persistent. And that's a whole different level. Right? That's a whole nother thing right there when it comes to the fact that you're not even preparing yourself for it. But today we're talking about what to do on this Selling Saturday. Use all of your strength, and whatever it is that you're doing, be fully engaged and be intentional about everything today. It should be every day, not just on Saturdays. It should be every day. And I'm going to put something out here over the weekend on different platforms, whether it be video or a written word. I'm going to do a podcast on it or whatever. But you know, I'm not a guy to brag, right? But man, this past week, I just got back home from Tyler, Texas. And for those of you that have not seen anything about it as of yet, you need to be keeping up with us on social media. But I spent the week in Tyler, Texas. I went up there to actually work the sales floor. I went up there as a PHC, man, professional housing consultant. And I didn't go up there as a consultant. I didn't go up there as a sales trainer. I went up there to work. I went up there to show by example what can be done. And here's the thing. All right. 1 week, Monday through Friday, I was there. I don't work there. I don't live there. I don't advertise there. Have no momentum whatsoever. Had no customer base that I had spoken to before that I could bring in because they already knew me. I dropped in Monday and started calling old leads that they had in their CRM. I posted a couple ads every day and drew some traffic that way. So what were the results? Results were 6 appointments set. 4 of them actually showed up while I was there, right? 1 on Monday, 1 on Tuesday, actually 2 on Tuesday, 1 on Wednesday. I sold 2 homes. I've got another one starting next week when they get their money in. And I have an appointment showing up today. I was trying to buy a unit that's off the lot there that I've passed on to one of the other sales consultants there. What I'm trying to get at is it's just about being intentional. I came in there with a hunter's mentality, and I operated on an effective and efficient manner because I knew what I was after. And what I was after was a minimum of 2 sales, because that's what you should be getting each and every week. And a minimum of 2 sales with 0 momentum. Goal accomplished. But that's simply because of the mentality perspective. I talked about it earlier during the week as well on social. You need to operate. If you operated as though you had to write the checks for everything, you had to pay the rent, you had to pay the bills, you had to pay the contractors, you had to pay for the homes, you had to pay for everything that goes on in the business. And then you got to pay yourself. you would operate differently. You'd attack those leads differently. You'd attack the phones differently. You would place your ads differently. You would deal with the customers differently. You would be more persistent in the sale because you know that you needed it. Because if you didn't, you couldn't pay for the things. You couldn't pay for the lot rent. You couldn't pay for the homes. You couldn't pay for their utility bills. You couldn't pay your staff. You couldn't pay anybody or anything if you weren't selling, if it were all up to you. And that's the mentality that we need to have each and every day, especially today on Saturday, because today is all about the sale. Today is a beautiful day. Every Saturday, no matter the weather, no matter where you're at in the country, Saturdays are a beautiful day because that's the day we get to just sell. So I hope that you have a great selling Saturday, and I hope this served you a bit. In everything that you do, use all of your strength. In other words, use your whole intentionality behind, put your whole intentionality behind it. And focus on the one goal. And the goal is simple. The goal is to solve the problem. You solve the problem, you get the sale. But it all starts way at the beginning when you posted that ad, to find that person that has the problem, that's looking for the home, that then you're going to bring into the office. And that when you're in the office, you figure out what that problem is. You make the connection. You help them understand that you are the person that's going to get them through. You find them the right home. And when they're telling you that they're going to think about it, they're going to talk to their spouse, they need to go pray about it, whatever it is, you need to be persistent to make them make the decision that day. And then after you sell them, you need to continuously be the professional that stays in contact and makes progress on their file so that you can get that deal closed as soon as possible. So you can get their home delivered and they can move in and you can accomplish your goal. A long list that can move pretty quickly as long as you operate with intentionality and use all your strengths in everything you do. You guys have a great Saturday. If you've got any questions, if there's any way that we can help you out here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, whether you're a retailer, community, or housing consultant, maybe a factory, a lender, we've done it all. We're here to help. All you got to do is reach out. You guys, talk to you later. All right. And as always, I can't wait to meet you.